What's good? We back at it. It's your boy. We're here to do another video, Venus sign series. We got Venus in Gemini, the third sign. Venus come through Gemini. Now, what does this mean, right? Before we can go into that, though, let's talk about what Venus shows in a birth chart. Venus, right, is home to the signs of Taurus and Libra. Now, what does Taurus and Libra represent? They represent finance, which is Taurus, and Libra represents relationships. So that's what the planet actually will show you, basically, right? So Venus is going to show, like how we just stated, 7th house energy, how you relate to others, and your love language. I always tell you guys that there's multiple areas in the chart that you got to compare, right? So compare your Venus sign, right? Compare it with the sign that's on the cusp of the 7th house, and also any planets that are in that 7th house, as there's multiple areas you got to mesh to see basically your love language and how you relate to others. Venus is also going to show what you value and kind of like the value that you can bring to the table, basically. In terms of Venus, it also can show how you can make money, right? But compare that with your 2nd house. 2nd house is like a Taurus house, and that shows how you make money. So any planets that are there, and also signs that are on the cusp, basically make sure that you, you would compare it with your Venus sign. In a man's chart, Venus shows the ideal wife archetype, right? So we're going to talk about what that means for my guys out there. And then if you have a nighttime chart, which I showed you basically how to find that. I did a video on day and nighttime charts and what that means. If you have a nighttime chart, it's going to show the blessings and the strengths that the house that Venus is deposited into will show where you can have blessings and strengths. And also, you got to use whole sign systems in that chart though. But one thing I want to state though is that also the houses that Libra and Taurus rule over can show also where you have blessings and strength too. And maybe other things that change the energy, but that's just the general theory around this concept, right? So, let's see. Let's talk about how you relate to others, right? Gemini likes variety, right? Likes freedom, variety. It's a very curious type of energy, basically, right? So in terms of how you relate to others, you definitely need your freedom. And in terms of your love language, you may like, since it's the twins that represents duality, this could show you being prone to, it could play a lot of different ways, but it's more of a loving your freedom, right? You love your freedom. You actually value your freedom, right? I'm jumping the gun, but we're talking about value and stuff. But since you love freedom and you value that, it can show forth for even being more open in your relationships. So some people with this placement, right? Because when we think of Gemini, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, right? Mercury is one of the androgynous planets along with Uranus. So this could show forth for some people, being that they're very curious and like freedom, they may be into open relationships or poly relationships, or some people be bisexual. That's not always going to be the energy, but you got to compare the chart basically to get like indications that someone may be more open. But give these guys freedom. If you know someone who has this love language, give them some freedom. And if we want to skip down to value, you definitely value intellect, right? Gemini is a sign that does intellect and communication. You value communication. If we want to use keywords, Venus, the keywords of Venus is love and value, right? Since it's coming through Gemini, this is about expression and communication, right? So look in the house that it's in, it will tell you what you love or value to communicate or express yourself. And look in the house that it's in, it's going to show the area where you're liking to communicate. I did another video on houses recently, so you can go look at that video. I try to link it here, you know what I mean? So on the YouTube, basically. If we want to go back to values, what you bring to the table, right? You guys are very curious, so you can bring forth it's a lot of, like, you're very witty and intellectual, right? So that's what you bring, your intelligence, basically, right? You guys can know a little bit about a lot, basically, all right? Now, let's go and let's talk about how you can make money, right? Again, compare this with your 2nd house, but I'm pulling out my phone for this because I don't want to forget anything. And also, besides this, look at that 2nd house and the planets that are in that house. I did a video on occupations for each sign. Go watch that video, which I'm going to try to link in the YouTube, basically. And that would tell more about the sign that's on the 2nd house to give you more indications. In terms of how you can make money, right? Gemini rules over the media and broadcasting, right? So this could be writing books, blogs, journalism of any sort, being a librarian, a clerk, any occupation also associated with short distance journeys, right? Any occupations associated with short distance journeys. So this could be being a bus driver, Uber driver, working for the post office, cab driver, taxis, things of that nature. Even being a train conductor. Gemini also is ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules over contracts. So someone who deals with contracts, And Gemini rules over the hand, so this could be a massage therapist. And you guys are very witty, have the gift of gab a lot of times, you know what I mean? Since you're very intellectual. So this could be good for a saleswoman or a salesman as well too, you know what I mean? So that's just some ways that you can possibly make money in terms of the energy, right? With Venus coming through Gemini. Also another thing too is that since you're so witty, that you have a dual nature too, you know, just in terms of what you value, it could be a lot of different interests that you have too. So there can be multiple ways that you can make money. Now, in terms of ideal wife in a man's chart, you need a woman who, since your love language is very free, you need a woman who's like that. You may need a woman who, again, gives you a bit of your space, who's very intelligent, who could turn you on even with words too. That's what I would think, you know what I mean? You may like multiple people, you know what I mean? If you're a guy, you sure you like multiple relationships, you're very curious, so you know, probably don't want to be tied down right away, you know what I mean? Now, if they got water, for instance, water signs, and like maybe they're Mars or in the 7th house or 8th house, that can change the energy a little bit where they still need deeper connections, but just off top. Or if the Venus is in Gemini in either the 4th house, the 8th house, or the 12th house, those are water houses. So this can change the energy of Venus and Gemini, meaning you still, even though you got Venus and Gemini, being that's coming through water houses, it's gonna make your love language more like deeper, basically. It's more like a hidden type of energy, basically, more private. You know what I mean? Whatever planets are in those houses are more private. Just as a heads up, in terms of the water houses. So check this out. I needed to add this in to give all of my fellas a little extra information. One of the things that I forgot to mention basically was that you can look in the house that your Venus sign is in, and that's basically going to tell you a little bit more about the ideal wife archetype in terms of the woman that you would need, right? So what you do is look to see which house Venus is in. So each of the 12 houses correspond with a zodiac sign, right? And that would basically give you further information in terms of the other keywords that would describe your wife archetype. If your Venus is in the 1st house, it's the Aries house, so you will also need a woman who has Aries qualities. If it's in the 2nd house, you will need someone who has Taurus qualities, because that's a Taurus house. 3rd will be Gemini qualities. 4th is Cancer. 5th is Leo. 6th is Virgo. 7th is Libra. 8th is Scorpio. 9th would be Sagittarius. 10th is Capricorn. 11th is Aquarius. And 12th is Pisces, right? So you basically will look, it's another video that I'm going to link to this video that I already did on keywords associated with each sign, basically, right? And then you will look to see not only your Venus and Taurus, but yeah, just check to see that sign. It's going to give you more qualities in terms of the ideal woman that you would need, right? So I just wanted to throw that in there as extra game, you know what I mean? Hopefully it'll help y'all. Strengths and blessings, look at the house that Venus is in. This could show if you have a nighttime chart where you have blessings. And also, I think I told you guys before, look at the signs of, you got to use whole sign houses when I'm telling you to do this, right? For daytime and nighttime charts. But if you have a nighttime chart, look at the signs of Libra. Look for Libra and Taurus. Look at the houses that they rule over, and that will show where you can also have blessings as well too. So that was pretty much it. That's the video, very simple. I thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a great one. More videos coming soon. All right, y'all, peace.